How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going over a video by Tom Davis, otherwise known as Upstate Canine Academy or America's Canine Educator. He's had a few names in the past. So today he is in the Netherlands, or in this video, at the time of this video, he's in the Netherlands working, I guess, a workshop of some sort. And his title says, "Watch Dominant Dog Get Humbled." So if you hear Ellie in the background, she's making me laugh. She is being crazy little monkey, but watch Dominant Dog Get Humbled. So when you see somebody label a dog as dominant, they act like it's a behavioral trait. It's not a behavioral trait. It is a momentary behavior. A dog is not dominant. They can exhibit dominance. They can exert dominance. They can be submissive. They can be more confident, more shy, but dominance in itself is not like a full behavioral trait. So anyway, seeing any trainer who calls themselves a trainer label a dog as dominant and then saying that they get humbled is already a red flag in my book. So we're going to get started. If you like this guy, then support him. He's Tom Davis Dog Training. Go support him if you want. Go buy his treats and his treat pouch and all that good stuff. I don't recommend following his technique. You don't have to follow my technique either. You don't have to follow me or do anything that I say. If you want to support other trainers, there's Kiko Pup, Kikopup, just as it sounds. There's Zach George. There's Grisha Stewart. There's Victoria Stillwell. Training Positive Canine. There's all sorts of great trainers out there that you can follow. So let's get started.
Okay, I have a very leash reactive dog.
So he already has music in the background. You know, he's trying to make this like it's a show, you know, so okay, I get it. I mean, but again, I don't have music in the background of my videos. I'm not trying to make anything. I'm not trying to like manipulate you emotionally and to, you know, subconsciously thinking a certain way because the music is playing a certain thing.
And I cannot get him out of that emotion. And the only thing that, because we have been sent away from the dog training, everybody is, yeah. They say they are afraid of him because of
trainers?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the dog. He seems like he's just overly excitable.
Okay, so they won't let you in training because of the reactivity. Anything else?
No.
So I didn't catch if he's reactive to humans or dogs.
Vergeet ik iets? Yeah, when he is.
I know what that meant there.
No, he's building up energy, so then he starts. He needs to.
He's mouthing.
The energy needs to go away, and then he's biting on me. But okay, that's I can live with that. But it's not nice, no.
So more music, more fancy music. We're just gonna go straight into where she's working with him.
Is it like a herding dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to warm up.
But differently from the border collie, yeah?
Yes.
So I immediately see that she's fighting him. She has a tight leash. She has a tight grip on her leash. She has a very short leash. I see this problem all the time with people when they're, you know, they create this problem. They're fighting with their dog
so that's
constantly.
just frustration here.
No.
So Orlando is...
So he switched her from a regular collar to a tiny slip lead. Possibly something that looks like this. This width around the dog, maybe slightly bigger. But that's the difference, is that the dog might have been on a regular collar, a regular flat buckle collar, and he put them on a slip lead for more control. Hi, Ellie. So that's one thing he doesn't tell you that he does. When people do that and they hide and they sneak in these different tools and they don't tell you, that's when I have a problem with it, because they're not actually telling you how they're working with the dog.
Obviously pushy.
She's got his treat pouch on, his treat pouch. So he probably sold her on that. He probably sold her on his treats that, you know, they're not using.
Big and strong, and so correct that if you can.
I wouldn't ow, 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 ow. I would not correct that. You don't need to correct that.
Niet bijten.
Ow, ow, ow.
right, let me see him for a second and give you a break. I'm going to do a little tune-up with him. Heel.
So we don't see how long. I think it's funny that he's no bad dogs built off love. Yeah. Okay, whatever you say. This is not love for a dog. This bow here is not love for a dog. Hi, Ellie. You want to go in the window? All right, go in the window. Look. Come on. Okay, sorry, Ellie wanted to go in the window. Anyway. I see this behavior all the time where people have a tight leash on their dog and they're constantly fighting it. Either their hand is really high up or they're really short and snubbing up on the dog, and the dog is fighting them constantly, and they're calling their name, Bodie, 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 or Gracie, Gracie, no, Gracie, sit, Gracie, look at me, Gracie, Gracie, watch me. Whatever the dog's name is, whatever, they're trying to tell the dog is not able to listen to it. So when I take the leash, and I give them their 6 feet of leash, not on a tiny slip lead, not on something like this, but I give them their leash on a harness that clips in the back. I give them their leash and they stop fighting. And it's because I'm not just constantly, my hand is right here by their collar. I'm not constantly fighting with them. I don't have a tight leash. If they make it tight, then I bring them back just a step. I loosen that pressure. If you want to see how I teach pressure and release, then you can look in the description below. There's a link to it. I'll try to put something, I don't know where it is, up here, if that's where it is. Or I guess it'll be somewhere on the screen if I can figure out how to do that. When you see the little eye icon, I'll try to do that. If I don't know how to do that, then I will just put that in the description below. You can also look at Kiko Pup's pressure and release game. It doesn't have to be this tiny bit of pressure, to teach pressure and release. You don't have to use this tiny little leash pressure. I use this with a harness on the back of a dog. If they make it tight, I bring them in a step, and then we loosen, and then they're good. And when they are calm, then I can start asking for known behaviors. If they know the behavior of sit, then I can ask them for a sit, just to test to see if they're under threshold. Threshold means that they're overstimulated. They're if they're over threshold, they don't want to take a treat. They're not able to listen. They're not able to follow known behaviors. But if they're under threshold, they're not overstimulated. They're able to take treats and food and focus on you and whatnot, and take in the environment. So if I have a dog that is pulling and going crazy, I'll bring them back, loosen that leash, ask them for a focus cue. Tell their name, say their name once, say the cue once, and then wait for them to give me the behavior. I don't rely on a tool like this. I don't rely on thin little slip leads to get a dog's attention. We also don't know how long he's been working with this dog for his tune-up. So we didn't see if he corrected the dog harsher. I'm assuming he did, because the dog would normally just go pulling at the end of that leash, to go get back to mom. So the leash is not anything special. It is just called pain compliance. He's not doing anything special other than using pain compliance with a small slip lead around a large dog's neck.
Good. Heel.
He's obsessed with heel immediately. I wouldn't worry about heel. The dog is already, in a new environment, the dog doesn't know heel. In this environment, they don't seem like they know heel anyway. So I just want them to walk on a loose leash. Ouch.
Good.
That was unnecessary.
He's a tough dog because, again, you can't see his eyes.
He's not a tough dog.
They've been doing the same thing for so long that they're kind of in each other's way. Where she's
fighting him and he's fighting her.
The same thing, but because they're kind of arguing, it's difficult for them to see eye to eye. So it's a little sibling rival, it seems,
Ouch. So why did you pop him there? Because he took a step ahead of you? That was unnecessary.
I'm really just seeing if he's going to get like
He's a control freak.
With me. I'm going to push him a little bit. I'm going to see if he gets that
He's setting him up for failure is what he's doing. He's setting himself up to where he can give the dog a correction, because correcting an animal or correcting someone in general when you're teaching them is more reinforcing and rewarding for the human or the corrector or the teacher than it is for the student.
With me. Yep. So I'm just what I call working. So this would be
That's
like the
not,
only time
I don't care about this. You're just stressing the dog out. This is stress panting, spatulate tongue. We can't see the dog's eyes, even though he has a little bow in his hair to keep the hair out of his face. It's not really working. He just wants constant control with this dog, where if he takes a step, the dog is constantly watching him, and the dog's going to be like a chicken on crack, just, constantly trying to, tweaking out and just making sure that they're not doing anything wrong so they don't get a correction. I mean, this dog may not necessarily be doing that, but we don't know what's going on in their head.
Here, likely, especially today, only because he's giving you such a hard time. Not that you can't handle.
So how many pops did he give this dog to get them to this point? He doesn't show that in the video because people might be turned off by it. He shows little corrections when he can give the dog little corrections. But in the first place, who knows how many corrections he had to give this dog? We saw how hard she was correcting the dog, and it didn't do anything.
It because you can, and you did, and you are. However, I want to see the contrast.
You shouldn't have to have your hand way back behind you ready to correct a dog. That's uncomfortable and not good for the human anatomy. And obviously it's not good for the dog. You should be able to have your hand like way out here nice and comfortable, and your dog is fine. I don't care where the dog is around me. I don't care about heel. Are there times when you can use heel? Absolutely. Is it important to teach your dog heel if you're depending on your priorities? If it's your priority, then yes, teach heel, but you don't have to rely on this technique. You don't have to rely on my technique. I will show at the end of this video how I taught my Shiba heel off leash. I mean, we were indoors, so I was teaching him heel off leash where I didn't need a leash, but of course I would use a leash with him outside.
Between if I push him a little bit, what is he going to do to me versus...
So he's setting the dog up for failure.
Back. Yep.
What was in that cut?
Nice. So I'm looking at engagement with him. Like, do I matter? That's like something I've been saying recently. Do I matter? Right? So when I move forward...
At least he's rewarding the dog.
Yeah. Good job. Well done. Yeah.
You could have rewarded for that.
Good. So he's taking that
knees into the
really
dog. Okay, he didn't knee into the dog. He walks into the dog. I don't like when people do that.
Because sometimes dogs can't handle
another cut.
Pressure, especially they're intact and they're like, don't tell me. It's like a drunk guy at a bar. And
people who use these analogies that make no sense, because a dog is not a drunk man at a bar just because he's intact. Intact means he hasn't been neutered, so he still has his testicles. It doesn't mean that they're like, hey, don't you challenge me. It just depends on the breed of dog. A Shiba will fight back more than, say, probably a Labradoodle.
For him, he's actually doing phenomenal. Like, he's not pushing back really at all. But the closer I get to you will be more of a challenge. So it's good.
Meaning he's going to want to pull to get to mom because he has no bond with you, which makes sense. I don't expect any dog to bond with me as the trainer. And so he's going to want to pull to get to mom. So how many times are you going to correct him for trying to get to mom?
See how well he can do, but it's probably frustrating because it's like, what the f? Come on, man. Oh, we got new bows today and a braid.
Okay, so this is a different day. Dog still looks stressed. Spatula tongue hanging out, stress panting. See a little bit of the whites of the eyes. Eyes don't look very comfortable. Still on that tiny slip lead.
You got it, Bryce.
Yeah, I like it.
Dog pulls.
He does have eyes.
Okay, so he was holding. Dog pulls to get to mom. He allows the dog to pull to get to mom.
Have eyes. Put your leash all in your left hand. Remember to look forward and breathe, and let your shoulders relax, and just talk to it. Don't try to, just have fun with him. So say his name, and Orlando, heel.
Come on.
Good heel.
Goed zo.
Nee. Ow. That was such a harsh correction.
Sit.
When you have something like this on, it doesn't take a lot to correct something and for them to feel it.
Give him a little break. I want to put him on a long line and give him some freedom. Yeah, just go.
Why didn't you do that in the first place? But don't have it on a slip lead like that. That's very dangerous. If the dog runs to the end of the leash, he could choke himself. He could break his neck. He could cause damage. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if I'm going to have a long leash, which I love long leads, then I would have it on a dog on a harness.
Walk this way, actually.
Okay.
There's a dog there, yeah.
He wants to stay with me.
That's okay.
Yeah, see,
So I'm
that's
just giving
exactly
them a
right.
little
He
bit-
wants to stay with mom. So stop fighting him. Give him his loose leash, and he'll stop fighting you.
Bit of pressure. I'm just releasing their pressure.
That's good.
So
See? It's not about the leash or the technique. It's or the person. It's. I mean, I'll take a dog who's. You want back in the window? Will you make up your mind? Hi. You make up your mind. You gonna stay in the window or not? You gonna sniff me? I love you. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that Ellie doesn't mess with the microphone. But as she chews on it, excuse you. But I've worked with people before where, again, I will take their dog's leash. I give them their 6 feet leash. I let them just stand on a loose leash, and the dog stops fighting me, and they respond to me. And it's not because I'm special. I hand them back to the owner, and the owner, really, dude? No, we're not going to play with that now. Come on. Come on. Here, come on up. Where I will take the dog's leash and work with the dog, you know, basically just giving them I stand still. I don't even work with the dog. I just stand still with a loose leash, give the dog their leash. They respond, and they stop fighting, and then I give the leash back to the owner, and the owner immediately goes back to their old ways. And I point out, see how you have the tight leash. See, the dog is fighting you. The dog is fighting you because of A, B, and C. You're repeating their name. You're repeating cues. They're not ready for that. Stop pulling on them. Stop using a tight leash. Just be quiet and have soft, quiet hands. And once they try that, the dog responds. Go figure. It's not that I'm magic. I'm not a dog whisperer. I'm not special. I just know how to work with a dog. And I can, you know, I can easily teach anybody else to work with the dog as well. I can just as easily teach anybody else to work with their dog if they listen and they follow through.
I want it to be less complicated for you, okay? I feel like you are being hard on yourself a little bit, which is something I said to you guys yesterday.
That dog
Good.
sounds like he's breathing kind of
But
hard and he's
sometimes,
having
guys,
trouble
the leash
swallowing.
Itself,
Maybe
can
that's just the
create
breed.
this Clear frustration. Thank you. Good. Inside turn. Now slow down and just ignore him completely. Act like he's not there. Act like you don't have a big ball of fur following you around.
I don't.
See how nice that is? I feel like
So he has this nice music in the background. I mean, I'm glad that she's feeling relaxed. I feel her frustration. I've been frustrated before with my own Shiba. And I work with people who are frustrated with their dog every day, and I try to give them that encouragement as well. But the dog doesn't need to pay for it.
pressure with him is just so. Chris. Yeah.
See, he didn't do anything. The dog was just on a loose leash, and the dog decided to lay down. That's what happens if you stop fighting with your dog and giving them and having them way up here and stringing them up and correcting them and popping all the time. If you stop fighting with your dog, if you do it right, they do it right. They show you when you do it right, and they show you when you do it wrong.
Good job. I feel like your leash.
And that's a
pressure
good
with him
moment
is
to
just
reward.
so
Good for her.
intense.
Yeah.
That's why he's getting so frustrated. I was thinking about this morning when I woke up.
I mean, I could tell that immediately, that you're just fighting with the dog, but I mean, that doesn't mean that I'm anything special. It's just I'm used to having soft, quiet hands, and he teaches to have very loud, obnoxious, rough, hard hands.
I was kind of thinking about the dogs individually, and that was one thing. When I took the leash, he just flattened right out, and
Well, because you gave him more leash. You didn't have it up 2 inches from his collar. And also probably because you gave him more pops at the end of that leash than she did.
feel like when you take the leash, like it's so hot. Now just walk away. Don't say anything, just go. I want you to disconnect with him as much as you can, because I feel like you're so... Dogs who have, dog owners who have reactive dogs.
See, he has a regular, beautiful, flat buckle collar. That's all he needs. Or even a harness. But with this breed, it might be kind of hard to have a harness with all that hair. But the flat buckle collar is all he needs. He doesn't need his tiny slip lead.
Kind of create this stress within their own relationship and kind of make things worse. You're gonna slide right into that heel.
Who
Look at
cares
that.
about heel? Nobody needs this perfect heel all the time.
That's good shit. Good.
I mean, again, if you want it and you want to teach your dog heel all the time, then by all means do it. But I don't think, for anybody else, only way to walk your dog is not just in heel. That's not the only mentality that you need to have. If you want to, by all means do it. But if you're not sure if you have to, you don't have to. Again, more music in the background. So they go for a walk and he stops the dog and okay. So I'm just going to end that there for this little section because it looks like he moves on to other dogs and whatnot. But this so-called dominant dog was not dominant at all. And it probably did get humbled by him. But anyway, hope you learned something from this video. Usually when I watch this guy, I get really irritated. So I'm glad that this video didn't, cause me to get super amped up and frustrated. Hope you all are doing well. Let me know what you got from this video. Go say hi to your little critters. Say hi to for me. Give them some kind of loving they appreciate. Until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.